Hi, everybody. I am going to give you the movie review for this week. Well, I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing. We're trying it out. But I watched several movies and I waited so long to review them that I forgot some of what I watched. But I do remember one because it kind of stuck in my craw. And I'm going to review that one for you today. So it is a movie from 2024. It's called The Substance. It's 2 hours and 22 minutes. It's with Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid, and Margaret Qualley. IMDb gives it 7.2 out of 10, and it gets 89% Rotten Tomatoes. Well, it actually gets 89% fresh tomatoes. The weird thing about Rotten Tomatoes, if they're fresh tomatoes, it's good. If they're Rotten Tomatoes, it's bad. And it 0, of course, or you could get 89% Rotten Tomatoes, which means it's really bad, or 89% fresh tomatoes, which means it's considered good. Personally, I did not like this movie. I think it had a lot of potential. I think the premise is really cool because I've always been one of those fascinated with youth and longevity and immortality. When I was in my 20s, I really liked vampires, and I didn't realize until I got older that I liked vampires because of the immortality aspect of it. Remember though, immortality is no good unless you've got, well, you want youth, obviously, because a lot of people want eternal life. That does not necessarily mean eternal youth. But I digress. That'll be a subject for some other day, a rant, a rave, I don't know. But this movie is classified as a dark comedy, a splatter horror, or a psychological horror flick. It felt like an independent film. I think it was an independent film, and while I was getting the information on it, I saw that it did win an Oscar. I think it started out really cool. The idea was really cool, and then it just kind of waned and started decomposing as far as being worthy to watch for me. The premise is that Demi Moore is a fitness guru. She does the old-fashioned, if you were alive back then, jazzercise. She does that type of a show. It's an exercise show. And she just had a birthday. They don't really tell you how old she is. At least I don't remember that. But you're starting to get the idea that it's a problem for her getting older. And Dennis Quaid's character is kind of a dick in this because he has that stereotypical ideology that a lot of ex-wives have, that women expire and they need to get a younger, more vibrant teacher in this class. And it's a syndicated, well, I think it's a syndicated exercise show. Demi Moore ends up getting into an accident and she goes to the hospital and she's really depressed, and it's her birthday and she's really depressed about the whole age thing. Somebody, one of the people who treats her, approaches her and says, "Oh yes, you're a good candidate." And this is all cloak and dagger. It's all very surreptitious. But basically what ends up happening is she is introduced to this black market youth serum. And I wouldn't even say it's a youth serum. It's not something like death becomes her. It's not something that, which was my misunderstanding, because when I saw the ad for it, I thought, oh, it's going to be a younger version of Demi Moore. And I'm wondering how they're going to do that logistically, because I know that they can do that, some of that with AI. But what ends up happening is she gets what's called the substance, and there are very specific rules. The rules of the substance are that you've got 7 days on, 7 days off. And a totally different person emerges from Demi Moore's character, and that is played by Margaret Qualley's character. She doesn't look anything like her. She does have the same beauty mark. There are some body marks that are the same. And Margaret Qualley's character her name is Sue. And Demi Moore's character, her name is, I think, Elizabeth, but Sparkle was her last name. And Sue is a little bit of a greedy ass bitch because she wants to keep all the time. She doesn't want to share the time. And the time that's 7 days on, 7 days off is an integral part of the balance of the substance and being able to exist. It's one person, but both Sue and Elizabeth keep talking like it's the separate person, and they're greedy. They take advantage, and there are consequences to taking more time. It just goes down deeper and deeper and darker and darker and greedier and greedier. It's brutal. There is a scene where they're beating each other up, and it is absolutely brutal. I've already given you spoilers, so I'm going to give you some more. Sue ends up killing Lizzie. The greediness is because Sue keeps taking spinal fluid from Lizzie, and that messes with how Elizabeth ends up looking. So she looked like a beautiful older lady, and now she's starting to look more and more like this decrepit leper. Because Sue ended up being too greedy, she ended up messing up her health, her look. And she tried to use the substance again, the activator. And that screws everything up. And then you come up with this gigantic blob of a person. I can't even say a person. And this is where the dark comedy thing comes in play. Because there are things going on like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I've told you way too much, but maybe I can save you the 2 hours and 22 minutes of watching this. I understand it got an Oscar. I do not feel it. I did not like it. I feel like this is another one of those shows, movies that had so much potential and it was not executed well. Maybe this was the goal, to start out normal, satirical, a parody, but it didn't commit to either way. So I think it lost a little bit of potential there. So I did not like this movie. It did not blow my skirt up. I would not recommend it. I am going to go over some more movie reviews and see if I can get those out. This was way too long, but anyway, that's what I've got for this movie, The Substance 2024. If you got nothing better to do, or you want to check it out and kind of maybe run the risk of wondering why you spent 2 hours and 22 minutes on it, yeah, watch it. Okay, that's all I've got for now. I'll talk to you soon.